As the Galactic Federation's survey ship, the Stargazer, approached Earth's solar system, Captain Zixner of the Centauri species felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. Sensors indicate a Level 3 civilization, Captain, reported Lieutenant Vrel, his antennae twitching with interest. Primitive space exploration, but no faster-than-light capabilities. Zixner's compound eyes blinked rapidly, processing the information. Interesting. Any signs of unified global governance? Negative, Captain, Vrel responded. Multiple nation-states, often in conflict. It's chaotic. The bridge of the Stargazer fell silent as the crew contemplated this revelation. Most species achieved unity long before reaching for the stars. These humans, as they called themselves, seemed to defy conventional wisdom. As the Stargazer entered orbit, the crew was treated to a breathtaking view of Earth's diverse landscapes. Oceans of deep blue, land masses of vibrant green and earthy brown, and swirling white clouds painted a picture of a world teeming with life. Begin passive observation, Zixner ordered. We'll gather data for a standard solar cycle before making contact. Over the next Earth year, the Stargazer's crew watched and learned. They marveled at the humans' resilience, their ability to thrive in environments ranging from scorching deserts to frozen tundras. They were fascinated by the diversity of cultures, languages, and beliefs coexisting on a single planet. But what truly astounded them was the pace of human innovation. In the span of a single generation, these beings had progressed from rudimentary computers to global information networks, from basic rocketry to plans for Mars colonization. It's unprecedented, mused Dr. Alia, the ship's chronobiologist. Their rate of technological advancement is, well, it's almost insane. Captain Zixner chittered in agreement. Indeed, but with such rapid progress comes great risk. Their weapons technology has advanced just as quickly. They possess the means to destroy themselves many times over. As the observation period drew to a close, the crew of the Stargazer debated their next move. The Galactic Federation had strict protocols for first contact, but Earth's unique situation posed a challenge. We can't ignore them, argued Communications Officer Thrix. Their radio transmissions are reaching further into space each day. It's only a matter of time before they detect other civilizations. Zixner nodded, her exoskeleton gleaming under the ship's lights. Agreed, we must make contact, but we must also tread carefully. Humanity's potential is immense, but so are the dangers they pose, to themselves and others. With a sense of historical significance, Captain Zixner gave the order. Prepare for first contact procedures. Let's hope these humans are ready for a galactic welcome. As the Stargazer decloaked above Earth's atmosphere, millions of humans looked up in awe and fear at the massive alien ship now visible in their skies. News of the alien presence spread like wildfire across the globe, igniting a mix of excitement, panic, and wonder. In the United Nations headquarters in New York, world leaders hastily convened an emergency session. The agenda was unprecedented: how to respond to the first confirmed contact with extraterrestrial intelligence. Meanwhile, aboard the Stargazer, Captain Zixner prepared to address the people of Earth. As she stepped up to the communication array, she couldn't help but feel a mix of hope and concern. The humans' reaction to this moment would shape the course of galactic history. People of Earth, she began, her words translated and broadcast to every corner of the globe. We come in peace as representatives of the Galactic Federation. We have observed your world and recognized your potential. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter for your species. As Zixner's message echoed across Earth, humans everywhere held their breath. The age of cosmic isolation was over. Humanity stood on the brink of a new era, one filled with untold possibilities and challenges. The question now was, how would they rise to meet this moment? In the streets, in homes, and in seats of power around the world, the same thought reverberated. Everything was about to change. The initial shock of the Stargazer's appearance had given way to a frenzy of activity. Governments scrambled to establish diplomatic protocols. scientists worked around the clock to decipher alien technologies, and the public's imagination ran wild with possibilities. At the newly established Galactic Embassy in Geneva, Captain Zixner stood before a panel of Earth's most influential leaders. Her chitinous exoskeleton gleamed under the bright lights, a stark reminder of how different she was from the humans who regarded her with a mix of awe and apprehension. "We have observed your species with great interest," Zixner began, her words translated smoothly by an advanced eye. "Your potential is undeniable, but so too are the risks you pose." The room tensed. United States President Elena Reyes leaned forward. "Risks? What do you mean?" Zixner's compound eyes blinked in a pattern that conveyed concern. "Your technological progress is unprecedented. In mere centuries, you've gone from horse-drawn carriages to space exploration. But your weapons have advanced just as rapidly, and your nations remain divided." Chinese Premier Li Xiao nodded grimly. "We are aware of our challenges, but surely with the guidance of the Galactic Federation." "That is precisely why I am here," Zixner interrupted. "The Federation has a proposition for humanity. An ultimatum, if you will." The word hung in the air, heavy with implication. Russian President Alexei Volkov's brow furrowed. "An ultimatum? That doesn't sound like the peaceful introduction you promised." Zixner raised a multi-jointed appendage in a calming gesture. "Please understand our position. Your species has the potential to be a great asset to the galactic community. But uncontrolled, you could also pose a significant threat." She activated a holographic display showing Earth and its surrounding space. "The Federation proposes this. You have 1 Earth year to achieve global unification and disarmament. If you succeed, you'll be welcomed into the Galactic Federation with full membership rights, including access to advanced technologies and protection." The hologram shifted, showing Earth isolated in a bubble. "If you fail, we will be forced to quarantine your solar system. No in, no out. You'll be left to your own devices until you either destroy your cells or evolve beyond your current fractious state." The room erupted into chaos. Shouts of protest and disbelief filled the air. Indian Prime Minister Arjun Patel slammed his fist on the table. "This is outrageous. You can't expect us to completely reshape our global society in a year." Zixner remained calm in the face of the human outburst. "We understand the magnitude of what we're asking, but we've seen countless civilizations destroy themselves at this crucial juncture. We cannot risk allowing an unstable species access to galactic technologies." As the implications sank in, a heavy silence fell over the room. The leaders of Earth exchanged worried glances, the weight of their species' future pressing down on their shoulders. Brazilian President Isabella Santos broke the silence. "And if we refuse your ultimatum altogether?" Zixner's antennae drooped slightly, a gesture of regret. "Then we would have no choice but to implement the quarantine immediately. We hope it won't come to that." As the meeting adjourned, the human leaders filed out in a daze. They had 1 year to accomplish what they had failed to do throughout their entire history: achieve global peace and unity. Outside the Galactic Embassy, crowds had gathered, their faces turned upward to the stars. News of the ultimatum spread rapidly, igniting fierce debates and protests worldwide. Some saw it as an opportunity for a better future, others as an alien attempt at subjugation. In universities, think tanks, and government offices around the globe, plans were already being formulated. How could humanity unite in the face of such an immense challenge? Could age-old rivalries and conflicts be set aside for the greater good? As night fell across the planet, billions of humans looked up at the sky with new eyes. The stars no longer represented distant, unreachable points of light. They were now a reminder of what was at stake and what could be gained. In her quarters aboard the Stargazer, Captain Zixner gazed down at the blue planet. She had set in motion events that would determine the fate of an entire species. "Show us what you're capable of, humans," she whispered to herself. "Prove us wrong. Prove that you're ready for the stars." The clock was ticking. Humanity had 1 year to overcome its greatest challenges, or face cosmic isolation. The ultimate test of human potential had begun. The initial shock had given way to frantic activity as humanity grappled with the monumental task before them. Global unification and disarmament seemed an impossible goal, yet the alternative, cosmic quarantine, was unthinkable. In this atmosphere of urgency, an unlikely alliance began to form. Dr. Amelia Chen, a brilliant Chinese quantum physicist, found herself working alongside Dr. Yuri Volkov, a Russian AI specialist. Their research facility in neutral Switzerland had become a melting pot of global scientific talent. "I think we're onto something, Yuri," Amelia said, her eyes gleaming with excitement as she pored over holographic data. "If we can perfect this quantum entanglement communication system, we could revolutionize global cooperation." Yuri nodded, his fingers dancing over a holographic keyboard. Yes, and combined with my AI diplomatic protocols, we might just have a shot at navigating the political minefield of global unification." Their collaboration was just one of many sprouting up around the world. Old enemies were becoming reluctant partners, driven by the common goal of survival and progress. Meanwhile, in the bustling streets of New Delhi, an unexpected scene was unfolding. Captain Zixner, escorted by a contingent of human security personnel, was visiting a local tech startup. The alien's presence drew curious stares and excited whispers from onlookers. Inside a repurposed warehouse, Zixner met with Ravi Gupta, a young entrepreneur whose company had made significant strides in clean energy technology. "Your work is impressive," Zixner chittered, her translator conveying genuine admiration, "particularly how you've adapted it for use in underdeveloped regions." Ravi beamed with pride. "Thank you, Captain. We believe that true global unity can only be achieved if we address the inequalities that have divided us for so long." As Zixner toured the facility, she couldn't help but feel a growing sense of hope. The humans were surprising her at every turn with their creativity and determination. Across the Atlantic, in the sprawling metropolis of Sao Paulo, another crucial meeting was taking place. Environmental activist Maria Silvia stood before a room full of corporate executives, her passion palpable. "Gentlemen, ladies," she began, her voice firm, "the alien ultimatum has given us an unprecedented opportunity. We can transform our industries, make them sustainable and equitable. It's not just about saving our planet anymore, it's about proving we deserve our place among the stars." To her surprise, the room erupted not in protest but in applause. The threat of cosmic isolation had done what years of activism couldn't. It had aligned corporate interests with environmental sustainability. As these pockets of cooperation and innovation multiplied, they began to coalesce into something greater. A global network of problem solvers emerged, transcending national boundaries and old prejudices. In orbit above Earth, aboard the International Space Station, American astronaut John Chen and Russian cosmonaut Anastasia Petrova watched their home planet spin below. "You know, Anastasia," John mused, "from up here, you can't see any borders. Maybe that's the perspective we've been missing all along." Anastasia nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "Perhaps this challenge is exactly what we needed, John. A common purpose, a reason to look beyond our differences." Their conversation was interrupted by an incoming transmission. It was from the lunar base, jointly operated by a consortium of nations. "ISS, this is Lunar Base. We've just successfully tested the prototype gravity manipulator. It works." John and Anastasia exchanged excited glances. The gravity manipulator was a key piece of technology, reverse-engineered from hints dropped by the Galactic Federation. Its successful creation was a major milestone in humanity's technological leap. Back on Earth, in the halls of the United Nations, diplomats from every nation were engaged in intense negotiations. The framework for a global government was slowly taking shape, built on principles of equity, sustainability, and shared progress. It wasn't all smooth sailing, of course. There were setbacks, disagreements, and moments of crisis. Some nations threatened to break away, fearful of losing their sovereignty. Extremist groups tried to sabotage unification efforts, but each time, humanity found a way to pull back from the brink, to find common ground. As the 6-month mark passed, Captain Zixner submitted her report to the Galactic Federation. "The humans continue to surprise us," she wrote. "Their progress, while not without setbacks, is remarkable. They are forming alliances we thought impossible, innovating at an astonishing rate. It is too early to say if they will meet our ultimatum, but I find myself, against all odds, hopeful." In every corner of the globe, humans were coming together, pooling their knowledge, resources, and determination. The stars that had once seemed so distant now felt tantalizingly close. With each passing day, the dream of a unified Earth, ready to take its place in the galactic community, seemed less like science fiction and more like an achievable reality. As the halfway point of their cosmic trial passed, humanity faced the future with a mix of trepidation and newfound unity. The next 6 months would determine their fate: isolation or galactic citizenship. The human spirit, tested as never before, burned bright with possibility. The progress made in cooperation and technological advancement was impressive, but significant hurdles remained. Global unification was still a fragile concept, and complete disarmament seemed a distant dream. It was in this tense atmosphere that humanity's resolve was truly put to the test. On a warm September morning, alarms blared across every major city on the planet. Massive objects, previously undetected, had entered Earth's atmosphere. They weren't Federation ships, they were something else entirely. In the newly established Global Defense Headquarters in Geneva, screens lit up with incoming data. General Fatima Hassan, the recently appointed head of Earth's Unified Military Command, surveyed the chaos with a grim expression. "Report," she barked. A young lieutenant responded, his voice tight with tension. "Multiple unidentified craft, ma'am. They're not responding to hails. Energy signatures unlike anything we've seen before." As if on cue, Captain Zixner burst into the room, her usually composed demeanor shaken. "It's the Vreketh," she chittered urgently. "A warlike species we've been monitoring. They must have detected our transmissions and decided Earth was ripe for conquest." General Hassan's eyes narrowed. "So much for your Federation's protection," she said bitterly. Zixner's antennae drooped. "I'm sorry. Our treaty prevents us from interfering directly. This is humanity's test." As the implications sank in, a heavy silence fell over the room. Then General Hassan straightened, her voice ringing with authority. "Very well. If it's a test, then we'll pass it. Lieutenant, initiate Protocol Omega, and get me a direct line to every major leader and scientific hub on the planet." Within hours, the world was mobilized. The fragile alliances forged over the past months were put to the ultimate test as humanity faced an external threat for the first time in its history. In orbit, the hastily assembled Earth Defense Fleet, a motley collection of retrofitted satellites and experimental spacecraft, engaged the Vreketh Armada. Captain Yuki Tanaka of the EDS Horizon gritted her teeth as energy blasts rocked her ship. "Status report," she yelled over the klaxons. Her XO, Commander Raj Patel, responded from his station. "Shields at 60%, Captain. Our weapons are barely scratching their hulls." Yuki's mind raced. They were outgunned and outmatched, but not outsmarted. "Raj, remember Dr. Chen's quantum-entanglement system? Let's put it to use. Patch me through to every ship in the fleet. We're going to coordinate like they've never seen before." On the ground, the situation was equally dire. Vreketh dropships landed in major cities, disgorging alien troops. But they were met not with panic, but with a coordinated global response. In the streets of Lagos, Nigerian special forces fought alongside Russian combat engineers, using hastily adapted alien tech. In Rio de Janeiro, Brazilian scientists worked feverishly to decrypt Vreketh communications, aided by AI algorithms developed in India. Back in Geneva, Dr. Amelia Chen burst into the defense headquarters, clutching a tablet. "General Hassan, we've done it." Fatima turned from the tactical display, hope glimmering in her eyes. "The gravity manipulator." Amelia nodded excitedly. "We've managed to miniaturize it. If we can get these devices onto the Vreketh ships, we can turn their own mass against them," Fatima finished, a fierce grin spreading across her face. "Brilliant. Captain Zixna, I don't suppose your non-interference treaty prevents you from looking the other way while we borrow a few of your shuttles?" Zixna's compound eyes blinked rapidly. "I suppose if I don't officially see, I can't officially report." Within hours, stealth teams were deployed across the globe, armed with the experimental gravity devices. In space, Earth's fleet executed complex maneuvers that would have been impossible without their perfect quantum coordination. The tide began to turn. Vreketh ships, their systems haywire from localized gravity fluctuations, became easy targets. On the ground, Earth's unified forces pushed back, using their intimate knowledge of the terrain to outmaneuver the invaders. As the battle raged, something remarkable happened. Old hatreds were forgotten as humans from all walks of life fought side by side. Scientists from nations once at odds collaborated on solutions. The diversity that had once divided humanity became its greatest strength. In the skies above New York, Captain Tanaka watched in awe as the Vreketh flagship listed and fell, brought down by the combined efforts of a truly global defense. "We did it," she whispered, tears of joy and relief streaming down her face. "We actually did it." As the last Vreketh ship retreated, a cheer went up around the world. Humanity had faced its greatest threat and emerged victorious, not as separate nations, but as a united Earth. In the aftermath, as the dust settled and the recovery began, Captain Zixna stood before the United Earth Council. "You have done more than repel an invasion," she said, her voice filled with genuine admiration. "You have proven yourselves worthy of the stars." The chamber erupted in applause, but Zixna raised her appendage for silence. "But your journey is not over. You have shown your strength. Now you must show your wisdom. The path to true unification still lies ahead." As the council chamber buzzed with excited discussion, the leaders of Earth shared determined looks. They had passed a crucial test, but the ultimate challenge, and humanity's cosmic destiny, still lay ahead. The battle was won, but the war for humanity's future was far from over. The global cooperation during the crisis had been unprecedented, but as the immediate danger passed, old tensions began to resurface. With only 3 months left before the Galactic Federation's deadline, humanity's unity was once again under threat. In this crucial moment, an unlikely hero emerged. Dr. Esther Okoro, a Nigerian psychologist specializing in conflict resolution, proposed a radical idea that would change the course of human history. Standing before the United Earth Council, Dr. Okoro's voice rang clear and confident. "Distinguished leaders, we've proven we can unite against an external threat. Now we must learn to unite for ourselves. I propose Project Empathy, a global initiative using our newly developed technologies to foster understanding between all peoples of Earth." The council chamber buzzed with murmurs. Some were intrigued, others skeptical. U.S. Representative Jonathan Hayes leaned forward. "And how exactly would this project work, Dr. Okoro?" Esther smiled, activating a holographic display. "By combining our quantum entanglement communication system with advanced VR technology and AI-driven language translation, we can create a global network that allows anyone to instantly connect with and experience the life of someone from a completely different background." The implications were staggering. People could walk in each other's shoes, see through each other's eyes, feel each other's joys and sorrows. It was empathy on a scale never before possible. Despite initial resistance, Project Empathy was green-lit. The next weeks saw a flurry of activity as the global scientific community rallied to make the ambitious project a reality. In a repurposed warehouse in Nairobi, Dr. Chen and Dr. Volkov worked tirelessly alongside Dr. Okoro to integrate their technologies. If we can pull this off, Amelia mused, soldering a delicate component, we might just change the world. Yuri nodded, his fingers flying over a keyboard. Ne prosto ma, no I chelovachestvo. Not just the world, but humanity itself. As the project neared completion, anticipation built around the globe. Would this be the key to true global unification, or humanity's last hope dashed? On a crisp November morning, with just 1 month left before the Federation's deadline, Project Empathy went live. Billions of people around the world donned their VR interfaces, nervous and excited. What followed was nothing short of revolutionary. A farmer in Yawa experienced a day in the life of a street vendor in Mumbai. A CEO in Tokyo walked in the shoes of a refugee in a camp in Jordan. A student in Sao Paulo saw through the eyes of a miner in Siberia. The effect was profound and immediate. Long-held prejudices began to crumble in the face of true understanding. People who had never left their hometowns suddenly had a global perspective. In the halls of power, the impact was equally significant. Negotiations that had been deadlocked for months suddenly moved forward as leaders gained new insight into the needs and perspectives of other nations. Captain Zixna, observing from the stargazer, was astounded. In all my years of studying developing civilizations, she remarked to her crew, I've never seen anything like this. The humans are literally rewiring their collective consciousness. But Project Empathy wasn't without its challenges. Some resisted, fearful of losing their identity in the face of global culture. Others tried to manipulate the system for personal or political gain. It was in this moment of crisis that humanity's newfound empathy truly shone. Instead of fracturing, people came together. Those who embraced the project reached out to those who feared it, offering understanding rather than condemnation. In a powerful gesture, world leaders agreed to undergo continuous empathy sessions, experiencing the lives of their citizens and those of other nations. Policies began to change, reflecting a new global perspective. With 2 weeks left before the deadline, something remarkable happened. The last nuclear weapon on Earth was decommissioned in a ceremony attended by leaders from every nation. As the world watched, the weapon was dismantled, its components repurposed for peaceful scientific research. General Hassan, who had once commanded Earth's military might, smiled as she watched the ceremony. You know, she said to Dr. Okoro, standing beside her, I used to think strength came from weapons. Now I understand it comes from understanding. Esther nodded, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. We've come so far, but our journey is just beginning. As the final days ticked down, Earth hummed with nervous energy. The planet had undergone a transformation more profound than anyone could have imagined when the Federation's ultimatum was first issued. In every corner of the globe, humans looked to the stars with a new perspective. They were no longer divided by borders or ideologies, but united by a shared understanding of what it meant to be human and a shared destiny among the stars. As the final hours approached, humanity waited with bated breath. Had they done enough? Would the Galactic Federation recognize the profound changes they had undergone? The fate of Earth hung in the balance, but for the first time in history, humanity faced that fate as one united species. The once divided planet now pulsed with a singular, hopeful energy. In every city, town, and village, humans gathered around view screens, their eyes turned skyward. Aboard the Stargazer, Captain Zixna prepared to deliver the Federation's verdict. Her compound eyes surveyed her crew, noting their tension. Even these seasoned spacefarers understood the gravity of the moment. Open a channel to all Earth frequencies, Zixna commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of responsibility. On the planet below, billions held their breath as the alien captain's image appeared on screens worldwide. People of Earth, Zixna began, her translated voice echoing across the globe. 1 year ago, we presented you with an ultimatum that many thought impossible to meet. You were a fractured species, bound by old hatreds and divisions. In the United Earth Council chamber, world leaders clasped hands, a gesture of unity that would have once been unthinkable. Zixna continued, Today, we stand in awe of what you have accomplished. Not only have you achieved global unification and disarmament, but you have done so in a way that has transformed your very society. Project Empathy represents a leap forward in social evolution that many older species in the Federation have yet to achieve. A collective sigh of relief swept across Earth, but Zixna wasn't finished. It is therefore my great honor to announce that Earth is hereby granted full membership in the Galactic Federation, with all rights and responsibilities that entails. Cheers erupted around the world. In New York's Times Square, in Beijing's Tiananmen Square, in Cape Town's Grand Parade, humans embraced one another, their joy transcending all former boundaries. But Zixna raised a multi-jointed appendage, calling for attention. However, this is not the end of your journey, but the beginning. The stars await humanity. The question now is, how will you meet them? As the transmission ended, Earth erupted in celebration, but amidst the joy, leaders and thinkers were already looking to the future. In the following months, humanity's integration into the galactic community began in earnest. Federation scientists arrived to share advanced technologies, while human innovations like Project Empathy garnered intense interest from other species. Dr. Amelia Chen found herself leading a team of human and alien scientists working to integrate quantum entanglement technology with Federation faster-than-light travel. Imagine, she mused of a diverse team, instant communication across the galaxy. We could create a galactic internet. Meanwhile, Captain Yuki Tanaka was promoted to Admiral, overseeing Earth's first true interstellar fleet. As she watched her ships prepare for their maiden voyage, she felt a swell of pride. "We've come so far," she whispered to herself, "and we have so much further to go." On Mars, the first human colony was being established with Federation assistance. Dr. Yuri Volkov, now heading the AI division there, watched the Earth rise over the Martian horizon. "Kobda to my mektali ozdestak, tipa my shivim 3D nick. We once dreamed of the stars, now we live among them." But it wasn't all smooth sailing. As humanity spread into the cosmos, they faced new challenges. Some alien species were wary of these newcomers, known for their rapid advancement and recent warlike past. It was in these moments that humanity's newfound unity and empathy proved most valuable. Where once they might have responded to fear with aggression, they now sought understanding. Project Empathy was adapted to facilitate communication between species, bridging gaps that had long been thought unbridgeable. 5 years after first contact, Earth had become a shining example of what a young species could achieve. The planet, once ravaged by conflict and division, was now a beacon of hope in the galaxy. In the heart of Africa, where the first humans had once looked up at the night sky in wonder, a new galactic university was established. Beings from across the Federation came to study the human miracle, how a species on the brink of self-destruction had transformed itself into a galactic player in less than a decade. As Dr. Esther Okoro, now a respected galactic diplomat, addressed the first class of this diverse university, she smiled at the cosmic tapestry before her. Humans sat alongside beings of all shapes and sizes, united in their quest for knowledge and understanding. "We stand at the dawn of a new era," Esther began, her words translated into a dozen alien languages. "An era where the boundaries of our compassion and our knowledge extend beyond our world, beyond our solar system, to the very edges of the galaxy." She paused, looking out at the eager faces before her. "But let us never forget the lesson at the heart of our journey, that our greatest strength lies not in our technology or our intellect, but in our capacity to understand one another. For in understanding, we find unity, and in unity, we can achieve the impossible." As her words rang out, they resonated not just through the lecture hall, but across the planet and beyond. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged transformed. Now, as they took their place among the stars, they carried with them a message of hope, that even in the darkest hour, empathy and unity could light the way forward. The human adventure was just beginning, and the galaxy would never be the same.